I have been dying to do that since last week. Remember when I was trying to open it and I couldn't open it? Good morning. It's Naima Singletary here with the power to lead. And today's topic is what's on the other side of hard? What's on the other side of hard? What is on the other side of hard? I was on the phone with someone yesterday and I want to identify this person for anonymity reasons. And he was talking about something that worked for him in his business, I think like a year and a half ago. And I asked him, why doesn't he continue to do it? And he talked about because how hard it is, how time consuming it is, how much work it takes. And I thought to myself, what's on the other side of hard? So I want to share with you my experience with getting to the other side of hard, and then also the instances in my life where it has been difficult to even make the decision to go into the unknown, to leap, right? To make decisions that are in the leaping territory. Because listen, the theme for the week is the 1% life. And the 1% life is hard. You don't get to do life on your terms and to be able to shop without looking at your bank account and to be able to live wherever you want to live in the world and to be able to call the shots and to be able to give money away to people that you love and to be able to have what it is that you desire without being willing to navigate and get to the other side of some hard things. And it's what qualifies me. It's what qualifies you. It's what qualifies other leaders to lead, to charge the big bucks, to have the audacity to get on camera and say, I can show you, I can help you, come this way. You pay the price, baby girl. So let me close with this glitter before I spill it all over the place. So when I think about the things that I did, oh, and by the way, I want you to know I have a 3-part training on Instagram today. I want to say that before I forget. A 3-part training on Instagram today, all about some of the three, it's a lot, but 3 of the issues that get in the way or how to get into closing 5-figure deals. And so the 3 topics for today are overcoming the fear of asking, how to handle any objection in an enrollment conversation, and then 3, how to identify what you have that clients will pay top dollar for. So it's a 3-part training. Those are the 3 parts. It starts at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, which is 6:30 Paris time. Then the next one is at 11 Pacific, and the next one is at 12:30 Pacific. So that's happening today on Instagram Live at Naima Singletary. At Naima Singletary, at Naima Singletary, at Naima Singletary. And remember, these lives delete in 24 hours. So you need to either be there live or make sure you hurry up and watch them before they delete in 24 hours, okay? So when I think about the fact that not only am I an anomaly, period, as a human, but I'm also an anomaly with the success that I've created in the transformation space as a woman, as a Black woman. Like that's what really makes it stand out. Like the woman part, right? And then the Black woman part. And so when I look at the decisions that I've made, the rooms that I've been in, the decisions that I've made, all of this and the difficulty inside of it. So I'm going to share a little bit about like the nuance of the difficulty, but the difficulty inside it and the level of emotional stamina and EQ, emotional intelligence that's required to get to the other side of this hard stuff. That's what I want to really get at today. Excuse me. So first of all, I always remember that I'm talking within the context of the transformation industry because that's where I am, that's where I've been since 2011, and that's where I've created the overwhelming majority of the revenue that I've created over the last 8 years or so. It's been here in the transformation space. And when I just if I take a snapshot, if I just take 8 years and put it in front of me and I just hover above it and I take a snapshot of the 8 years, I have often been one of the only Black women in the room. I have often made very large investments in the direction of what it is that I'm looking to create. So large investment in business expenses, whether that be a team, whether that be a coach, whether that be a housing conditions, whether that be some other kind of resource that I feel like is going to get me to the next level. And so that, and then also being willing to do hard stuff. And oftentimes the hard stuff is just a hard decision first, then it's the hard work, which is oftentimes temporary. Like, in the transformation space, typically we're working in projects. Like we have a project that we're working on, and that project may take, 3 nights of working late, and then you'll have like a week where you get to breathe, and you get to work on another project that doesn't consume you as much. And so those are the things. When I hover above and look at the last 8-9 years, it's been oftentimes being willing to go into rooms where people don't look like me exist, being willing to make very difficult decisions. So here's an example of making a difficult decision. And I tell this story all the time because I've had to make the same decision over and over and over again. And this is one of the first times that I can remember making this decision and it having such a, quantum, massive, positive impact in my life and in my business. And it's when I went to that conference in Florida that I've told you about, where I literally did not have the money to go to this conference. The admission was $1,000. I didn't have $1,000. Well, how did you come up with the money? I went and made the money because I was tired of being bored. Bored. When I say bored, because I was going to say broke, right? And really what I was doing is feast or famine. Like I'd make $5,000 and then I'd make $500 in a month. And then I'd make $7,000 and then I'd make $2,000. It was just, and I was tired of it. And then not only that, I knew that I had more. Like when you're consumed with financial struggle, creativity can be more difficult. Just that feeling of, the financial struggle really gets in the way. It can, right? Oftentimes it does get in the way of the ability to be present, the ability to be able to think long term, the ability to really be able to be in service the way you want to. And so I was sick of that. And so I made the decision that I was going to come up with the money, even though at the time when the opportunity presented itself, I didn't have the money. Like, this is hard. This is hard. This is one of the objections that your clients will give you over the phone. I don't have the money. Like, that's classic. I don't have the money and I don't have the time. Like, those are the classic objections in enrollment conversation. I don't have the money, I don't have the time. And if a person says they don't have the money, they don't have the time, okay, so that's a whole other conversation. That's why you need to be at the training today on IG Live, because I'm going to go into that. But what I'm really getting at here is to be in a place where I literally didn't have the money, and I know this has been your reality and the reality of many of others, and an opportunity, you're asking for an opportunity. I have been praying for God to please use me, please take me out of this feast or famine, help me, show me. And then I would always ask, and I started doing this when I was in college, I started to ask God, help me to see that which I would not normally be able to see. What I have found with a lot of people is they have inaccurate, terrible sight. I don't mean like the ability to see with like 20/20. I mean like they cannot see, their consciousness is so distorted, they cannot see opportunity that's right here. They cannot see, they see everything as a problem versus looking at how is this an opportunity for me. And so the hard part was I didn't have the money. And so it was like not only the money to go to the damn event, which was $1,000, it was also the money to get there. The event was in Florida. I was in California. So it was the money to get there, the flight, hotel, food. And it was a 3-day conference. So, hold on, I might have glitter in my eye. At a 3-day conference, oh shit. At a 3-day conference, you get there the day before, right? So it's like, it ends up being like a 4 or 5 night thing. And so I remember, as a matter of fact, like I couldn't even stay at the hotel where the event was happening because I couldn't afford that hotel. I ended up staying at another hotel that was like maybe 3 miles away. So what did that mean? That means I had to pay for taxi. And I don't think Uber was around yet. So I paid, wow, that's a long time ago. Uber wasn't around? Or maybe I wasn't aware of it. This was in 2013. Uber was around in 2013. Anyway, So, and I remember going to the grocery store. There was a grocery store across the street from the hotel. I remember going to the grocery store to get food because I couldn't afford to eat the food at the hotel restaurant. You see? And being in this room with these women who seemed to be making so much more money than me. And there were like 350 women there, and there were maybe 3 to 5 black women there. 350 business women in a room, and maybe 3 to 5 black women were there, and that's including me. So this is what I mean by, like, you don't get to have, 6 months in Paris, buying a house in Paris. You don't get to shop the way you want to shop. You don't get to have the freedom without enduring some hard stuff. But you endure the hard stuff because you're working toward a thing. You get to the other side of hard. And I want to give a special shout out to Shanda Sumter right now, because this getting to the other side of hard, I've heard this from her for the first time. I was living in Italy, and I wanted to get my body, clean up my body, get my fitness in order. And I had went to my coach's conference. I had sponsored her event. I invested $20,000. You see what I mean? This is another thing about doing hard things. Hard things. This is why. Like, I don't care about people's excuses. Zero, zilch, zero. If you want the 1% life, like if you want to be able to just wake up and be like, you know what? I feel like going to Paris tomorrow. And I keep saying Paris because I love Paris and Italy. You fill in the blank with whatever your thing is. Like, maybe you want to remodel your kitchen. Maybe you want to private homeschool your children. Maybe you want to retire your spouse. Maybe you want to go on a really lavish cruise, all expenses paid for you and your family. Fill in the blank, right? You cannot have the freedom that money brings, the choices that money brings, if you're not willing to engage in the hard stuff and get to the other side of hard. So I, as a black woman who, black people got that kind of money? Whoa, right? You know the narrative, right? We know it. I'm at this conference. My coach at the time, she was a white woman. This conference had like freaking 600 people at it. I invested $20,000 to be a sponsor. This is how you create success. You invest big where you want to go big. These people who want to do these little small payments, these petty payments, but you want $1 million results. What? What are you signaling to the, what are you even signaling to your own consciousness when you're like, yeah, I want to cross 6 figures this year, but I can't afford to invest $10,000. I can't afford that. I don't have the time for that. I don't afford that. Well, you don't have the time for a 6-figure bank account then. You're not deserving of a 6-figure bank account then. You want to play big? You want to live big? You go big, okay? So anyway, I go to this conference, and this is how I found out about Shanda. She asked me about this, and I was like, I had to go into my memory. How did I find out about you? But at this conference, they actually had us at the end of, I think it was day 2, they had us run like a mini marathon. Like, we literally had to go back to our hotel rooms, change our clothes, go work out. And they had prepped us because a lot of people, I was like, how did they do that? And I realized how they integrated that into the marketing. It was just fucking brilliant. And so they actually, outside of the hotel, like in and around the parking lot, they set it up where we literally ran around. And that was part of how they launched this health program. And while I was in Italy, right, because Shanda and most other people were here in the United States, I was in Italy living in Milan. I enrolled in this health coaching program. And any of you who have embarked on a healthcare plan and getting your body in order, it's fucking hard, right? Like, when you're serious, it's hard. And for me, it wasn't even about the food, because I had decided, look, I'm living in Italy. I'm going to eat my pasta. I'm going to drink my wine. Like, I'm going to do it in moderation, but I'm still going to do it. And for me, it was about really the consistency of the working out. And so It was hard though, because here I am in Italy, like everybody else is in the United States. They're buddying up, they're running together, they have these groups. And so the only thing I was really able to leverage was the private Facebook group that they had that I used and reported in every day to help keep myself accountable. And people in the group helped to keep me accountable. And it was hard, but baby, this is what it looks like on the other side of hard. That summer, okay? Because this was spring that I started this program. Yeah, because it was like March. We went to Las Vegas. The conference was in Las Vegas, and I flew from Italy to Las Vegas, right. That summer, I flew my sister, all expenses paid trip to the south of France. We went to the south of France, and baby, when I tell you I was in my bikini, you hear me? Okay? On the beach. I have pictures on the beach. I have pictures from when we left Saint-Tropez and she came with me back up to my apartment in Milan, and we are in different Italian towns, and my legs are just looking fabulous. As a matter of fact, I remember sharing one of the pictures on social media and this woman being like, your legs look fabulous. I was thinking to myself, girl, if you knew the amount of jogging I was doing, the hard jogging. I mean, we had days where we had to run for 7 miles. Do you hear me? By myself in the heat. Matter of fact, let me tell you how committed I was to doing the hard stuff. In Saint-Tropez on holiday, me and my sister, we're in the south of France, the only black woman of leisure that you see around. That's another thing, right? This is the shit that you get to do when you're on the other side of hard, okay? You get to go wherever you want to go, even if people like you who look like you are not there. I got stories about Saint-Tropez. I love it. Anyway, baby, I got my behind up every single day. And I was in Saint-Tropez for, I think, 10 days, because I also had a retreat there for some clients. So I got there days before my sister had the retreat, and then she came after the retreat, and then she and I had our sister time together for like a week. And baby, when I tell you, I got up every single day and ran in the heat at the end of June in Saint-Tropez. If you know anything about Saint-Tropez in June, it's hot. June, July, August is hot, okay? And I remember, because I think it was one day a week we had to run 7 miles. Like, we had instructions inside of this program about, do these workouts this day, do this many miles this day. And it was hard. I remember being like, fuck. I remember I had drank a lot of wine one night before and had to get up. This is what it looks like on the other side of hard. You get up while you're on holiday and you go run your 7 miles. And you get to flaunt that body. I remember when I was investing that $20,000 to be a sponsor, about 7,000 of it got held because I was having large chunks of money coming through my account at that particular time, and the bank was like, okay, monitoring my money, and they put $7,000 of my money on hold, which delayed me being able to pay for my sponsorship, and I almost was not able to do my sponsorship. What did I do? Baby, I dug in and came up with the money. I went and applied for a credit card. I went and got a, like those temporary advanced loans that you can get here in the United States. And, even making the decision to invest at a 20,000, what? I'm just investing for a 3-day event. This is not even like a coaching program. This is what I mean. What it looks like on the other side of hard, making these hard decisions, going in rooms where people like you don't exist, persevering in the face of defeat, holding the vision. Like when it looks like it's not working, when it looks like you're losing, when it looks like it's a bad idea, unless it literally is a bad idea, and you know that as a matter of fact. But oftentimes it's just feelings. When we are leaving our normal frequency, our normal way of doing things, and just imagine you consistently making $20,000 a month. Take that in. You're not going to be who you are now. So that gap in between is the hard part. On the other side is the freedom that you seek. And I don't mean like this lay on the beach all day and do nothing for the rest of your life. I don't mean that kind of freedom. I mean the freedom to choose. the freedom to choose, to be like, I'm staying here in wherever I'm staying because I choose to. I'm going to, wherever you want to go. And then, you know what? I'm also going to go here and, or no, I don't want that. I want this. And being willing to back that up with money. No, I want to hire this person and being willing to back that up with money. Being able to get rid of a client because you don't need the money. I mean, the other side of hard, the list goes on and on and on. And guess what? Most people ain't, I told you, the business owner I was talking to yesterday, he found something that worked. And it took so much time and energy. And he said he didn't want to do it because it was hard. The 1% life requires hard. Sorry to break it to you. No, I'm not sorry, but I mean, there it is. It requires hard. And this is really the real reason why a lot of people aren't going to make it. Not because they don't have it, what it takes, not because they're, whatever, fill in the blank. It's because they're just not willing to struggle. They're not willing. And I don't mean struggle like, come on now, minus the dramatics. I mean like go into unknown territory. Go into an area where you don't know. Go into, an area where you are a student for the first time. Go into a frequency that you're new to and allow yourself to calibrate to that being your new normal. That's hard. Most people aren't willing to do that. Whether it's money, relationships, a body, it's hard, man. I'm telling you, and you don't have mind control with yourself, game over. The other side of hard is the freedom of choice. Take that in. The other side of hard is the freedom of choice. Man, that feels so fucking good. So I'm getting ready to go. Remember, I'm going to be on IG Live in about probably 6 minutes. If you are made to make big money and you just know it, right? You need to be at this training. If you are struggling with closing big deals consistently, like, this is the place to be. I'm a veteran. I've been doing this. Like the hard that I'm talking to you about, the struggle I've been talking to you about, I can teach this because I struggled so much. I was the girl who couldn't pay her cell phone bill. Like, don't even get me started. So anyway, I'm going to talk more about it on IG Live in about 5 minutes. So find me at Naima Singletary, at Naima Singletary, at Naima Singletary on Instagram Live in about 5 to 10 minutes. Bye-bye.